Hey everyone, can you see us? I'm here with Dorinda Wilson.
Hey.
Hi.
I am so happy to be here.
And I actually don't know if we're sideways on Facebook right now.
Yeah, well.
So we're going to look.
We're going to look. Okay.
Really quickly.
Awesome.
Because.
I think this has happened once before. Facebook isn't always very nice to us.
No, it's not. And so we're having technical difficulties. I'm sorry. We're trying to get this video set up and it was wanting to put our video sideways. And I'm trying to just see it up on our page. So hang with us. If you're watching, just hang with us for a second. I don't see.
Refresh the page.
Oh, thanks. Maybe that would work.
Hey, that's what my son always says. Mom, have you tried restarting it? Oh.
Let me see. Oh, okay.
There
Oh,
we
no,
are.
we're good.
Okay.
Yes, we
Look
are.
at that, we're straight.
At least I can see.
For
Maybe
now.
you can check on your phone and make sure that we're in the right direction. So,
Okay, here we are.
We're here. I'm sorry. We are 5 minutes late. Hopefully someone will watch. I don't know if we have anybody watching yet. I think we have one person watching.
Hi.
So anyway,
Thanks
hi.
for coming.
I am Yvette Hampton, and I am the host and producer of Schoolhouse Rocked. It is a documentary that we are filming on homeschooling, starring Dorinda Wilson. You are part of Schoolhouse Rocked. You're part of the cast officially.
We are. Yes, it's a big cast, though.
It is a big cast.
Lots of amazing people.
Yes, but you and your family actually made it into the last trailer.
Oh, we did.
You saw you.
I did, yes.
Yes.
We were watching it and the kids went, wait, that's us.
Yeah, it was kind of a quick flash.
Yes.
It showed your family. But anyway, so for those of you who may not know, this is Dorinda Wilson, my very sweet friend.
Yes, we're
and
good friends.
We are actually in Georgia right now, and you're on vacation.
Yes.
So you came to vacation with us.
We did. We came to visit the Hampton family and stay at the Hampton Inn.
Yes, yes, which is exciting. So we're in Savannah tomorrow, and the next day we're going to go tote around Savannah downtown.
And Schoolhouse Rocked is really how we met. That's the fun part. We were at a conference, and you just came up to me and started talking to me, and we were able to connect. It was really a God thing because you were able to come to our place after that conference, and that's when you did some of the, recording of our family and interviews and things like that. Yes. And so it's one of those things you can't work out on your own. It's something only God can do. And then after that, it just sort of turned into this friendship.
Yes.
And so we talk all the time and pray for each other all the time. So I'm really grateful.
Yes, it's fun. I had been stalking you for quite some time before the conference. We met at the 2-to-1 conference.
Yes.
And before that, I think I first had heard you on Heidi's podcast. Mm-hmm. And then I became familiar with you and then just started, following you on Facebook. And so anyway, I knew you were going to be at the conference. And
it was great. It was great to meet you.
Yeah, I said I want to meet Dorinda.
It was great. And there was instant connection, So
yes, it was fun. So a friendship totally orchestrated by the Lord.
Absolutely.
You're right. So fun.
Those are the best.
Yes. And tell, for those who are not familiar with you, maybe tell them a little bit about you and your family.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm married to Daryl, and we have been, this year, September, we'll celebrate our 30th wedding anniversary. Wow. I cannot believe that. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
But we have 8 kids, and they're range from 14 to 27. Our 2 oldest are married. We have our 6th grandbaby on the way in the end of June. And so family just keeps growing, sons are finding potential wives, and so it just kind of keeps growing and growing. But we've been homeschooling since the beginning, so we've been doing this for a long time. I don't know, do you count from the time they're born, or I always wonder about that, or kindergarten age? So if you count it from kindergarten age, we've been homeschooling for about 23 years.
I think if when your child graduates at 18, if you said I've been homeschooling for 18 years, they might wonder why it took 18 years to get through school.
That's true. I never thought of that. But you do kind of, I guess I feel like we homeschool from the beginning, and we don't even realize we're doing it. And this is where it's kind of ironic that when they get to school age, all of a sudden there's a switch that flips, and all of a sudden we're not qualified anymore to teach our kids, and it's just the silliest thing ever. So but anyway, so we have these kids, and we've graduated. We'll graduate our 6th in June. Wow. So we're the finish line is in sight, and it's pretty exciting. The fun part about this season is having that hindsight. being able to look back and see what is really important and what isn't. You know, you hear things along the way and you wonder, is that true? Is it not? Things like, you know, always choose to work on character over curriculum. And I used to think, yeah, but the math has got to get done. And, you know, and it does. But from where I'm sitting right now, it is so true. You know, we've got kids who are working. We have kids who are married. All of our kids have had jobs and pursued jobs and all of that. And I can tell you right now that these employers are looking for people with character, you know, who have a good work ethic, honest, will put in a good day's work, are teachable, so lifelong learners. And so these things are so well taught at home. They can be so easily, I don't say easily, it's obviously it's work, but home is such a great place to teach all of those things. It comes so naturally as you're parenting and nurturing. You know, we go into this parenting thing and we parent from this place of nurturing, right? And we decide to homeschool because we believe it's the best choice for our kids. And then all of a sudden we get caught up in the, you know, is this the right curriculum? Or am I doing everything? Or, you know, maybe I'm not qualified for this, or my kid is struggling, you know, was this a wrong decision? And all these things start to take up all of our thinking and make us doubt what we're doing, and we forget to continue to homeschool from a place of nurture. That's where we started. So, you know, tune into that instinct that God's given us as parents to homeschool in a way that works for our families. So a couple of years ago, I wrote a book called The Unhurried Homeschooler. It's been almost 3 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't believe it. And, you know, I just thought my husband encouraged me to do it. I thought he was a little bit crazy. But then it was like the Lord kept nudging me. And there was one particular situation that I saw that really, at the library, where a classroom was there and a teacher was there. And the way she was treating the kids was just, I was floored. I could not believe that nobody was going to stop and say, she was not respecting the children. And, you know, it was just that nudge I needed to write this book. And so I thought, okay, just start writing down some thoughts, you know, some things that you'd want somebody to know about homeschooling and your experience and all that. So it turned into this like simple, mercifully short book, because there's so many big books. And they're wonderful. There can be great resources, but I knew as a busy mom myself that a shorter book would be a better, I would read that, you know, like if I could read it in 2 hours, it might actually get read. So that's what I did. I wrote that book, and it turns out it's resonated with thousands and thousands of moms, and so it's been really fun to see the Lord take such a simple thing. I feel like it was like this little offering I had, and God took it and did something great with it, and has really encouraged other moms through it. And
so you're kind of known now as the unhurried homeschooler, unhurried homeschool mom.
And some people are like, what is unhurried homeschooling? Like, is that lazy homeschooling? Is that like we just get up,
you move really slowly?
Slothful homeschooling, right? No, that is not what it is. The unhurried piece is really just not rushing our younger kids into too much book work too soon. So it's a gentle approach, a lot like a Charlotte Mason. That would be a great fit for someone who wanted to do unhurried homeschooling. There's lots of great options out there that would fit that. It's just, and this is the second piece, is slowing our hearts down as moms to listen for the Lord's voice, to hear what He has for our families, to, you know, shut out all the other voices, hit the pause button, and really listen. What does God have for your family? Because it's going to be unique. It's going to look different. All of our journeys look different, and they're supposed to. You know, God is so creative, and He's made our families and our little family cultures all different. And we tend to want to, you know, kind of copycat. And God wants our family to be unique. He knows what our kids are going to be doing. Some of the stuff that my kids have done, I would have never guessed. I could have never figured it out. No, I could not have prepared them for it. But by waiting on the Lord and asking Him for wisdom along the way and trusting that it was going to be enough. that was the unhurried piece, and we found a lot of joy and peace in our homeschooling because of that. Just being willing to trust God that if we needed, if our child needed a mentor in an area, like we have a son who's just, he just loves technology, and my husband and I, no help at all, none at all. Like, we're not the people for the job. But God was so faithful to bring mentors into his life, one in particular that just turned the corner for him and helped him recognize his gifting and kind of work on that skill, and just was such a blessing. So, God has such a great plan for our families, if we just take the time to wait.
I love it. Well, and I love the thing about you that I love is you have 8 kids. You've already taken more than half of them through your homeschool in your home. And so, oftentimes parents will, they can say what they want, but they haven't actually experienced it. And it doesn't mean that if you haven't experienced it, you don't have any kind of wisdom to share, obviously.
Right,
I mean, we're still in our homeschool journey with our girls. We're in our 8th year now of homeschooling. But I oftentimes feel like I'm still trying to figure it out. You and I have had conversations.
Oh, yeah,
I'm like, Dorinda, what do I do?
Yeah.
And it's so great because you've been through that. You've walked it, and all of your kids are so different. So it's not this cookie cutter approach to here's the curriculum you use, here's how you use it, and this is going to work for all of your kids across the board, and they're all going to turn out like a bunch of robots. And really, that's what happens in the public school system.
Right.
Because it has to be that way. You have to use the same method and the same curriculum and the same everything for every kid. And it doesn't matter if, this child is far beyond what the rest of the class is, or this child is failing miserably. You just keep trekking on because you have to. And when you get to be the mom and you get to be the one who can decide when they're ready to move forward, when they need to, stop and slow down. It's such a beautiful thing. It's my favorite, one of my favorite things about homeschooling. It's not my favorite thing, actually. My favorite thing about homeschooling is being able to disciple my children.
Exactly.
And point them to Christ in everything, because that's the most important thing.
It really is. And that's really the heart behind Unhurried Homeschooling. Is just, like I said, it's not really a method. It's a listening.
Sure.
And just that whole idea of, customizing our children's education does not mean that I ever made up worksheets, or I didn't do any of that stuff. Our homeschooling was very simple and straightforward, and I felt like the Lord had sort of whispered to me what was really important, which was the basics. And I explained it in the book better. But
get the book.
Get the book. It's on Amazon.
We'll link to the book.
So it basically, just listening to the Lord's voice for each child and understanding that education is discipleship. I always say education is discipleship. Discipleship is rooted in relationship. And relationships take time. And that's why you need that unhurried piece, because to be able to have margin in your day to stop with a child who's struggling and have a conversation about what's really going on. It could be so many things. It could be they're hungry. It could be they're tired or thirsty. They need to go jump on the trampoline. They're just done for that day. You know, you have these conversations and you build these relationships with your kids, and there's this openness that's going back and forth, this ongoing conversation between you and your kids, and it allows you to speak into their lives and then to continue to speak into their lives as they get into the teen years and into the adult years. And, I love that our kids will come to us and say, will you pray for me? Or, they don't tell us every little thing that's going on. That wouldn't be healthy, right? But, there's certain things and certain times they pop in, they let us know how they're doing. Or if I can text them and say, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while, what's going on or whatever. And they'll just open up and share with me. And
because you've built that trust with them day in and day out through their whole childhood.
Exactly.
You're the one who knows them. You're the one who gets to be their shoulder to cry on, when they're upset, and you're the one who gets to raise their arms when they're excited, and you get to cheer them on, and
just to have them always know that we are there for them. Like, we can't fix everything, but we can go to the one who can be the one to bring them what they need, to give them what they need, whatever that is. We do it together. and our kids have, expressed so many times an appreciation for that. And I just love that. But I did tell my husband the other day, it's so different when they're all out of the house, because when they were all home, it's like you're like a hen with all your little chicks under your wing, and they would go do their things, but there was always a check-in time periodically throughout the day. So I always pretty much knew where each of their hearts were, how they were doing, what was going on with them, if they were struggling or not. And now they're out in the world, they're doing their thing, they're fulfilling their purposes or whatever. And now I'm home and I'm like, well, I wonder, how they're doing, or but you just don't have that same contact with them. And so treasure that time that you do have with them all, kind of nestled in their beds and and close by. But I will say it's exciting when they get to the point where they're launching. That has its own bonuses and great things, because just being excited for them and their adventures and the things that the Lord's leading them into, and just watching them blossom. That part is really a lot of fun.
It's
really
so strange watching our kids grow. We have two, and our oldest just turned 13 a couple of weeks ago. And it was weird because when she turned 13, it hit me, not so much the fact that she's a teenager, but that in just a few short years, she's going to be out of our home. Yeah. And that's what makes me sad. Oftentimes people are like, oh, the teen years, good luck with that. And I'm like, I mean, so far, we've been through the preteen years now, and there are struggles and difficulties, but no one knows that girl better than I do. That's it is, I can read her mind most of the time. I'll say something to her and say, you're thinking about this. And she's like, how did you know? Because I'm your mom. I'm with you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
That's right.
And
that's where that discipleship, you can't get that kind of discipleship piece without being with your kids. Right. And this is where I would say to moms out there, if you're feeling overwhelmed, it's a good time to step back and ask if the things you're doing are really what God has for your family. Because I really believe that when it starts to feel burdensome, that we're quite possibly doing something more than God is expecting us to do. And I see a lot of families overscheduling, and there's no margin in their days, and there's no time for the kids to be creative and to follow their interests. It's so important we don't overschedule our kids, and we don't direct their every minute. They need to have time to be bored, because they get creative. And my kids say that all the time. If they weren't bored at certain points, they would have never discovered this, that, or the other thing, this interest, this hobby.
When you're always telling them, this is what you do next, this is what you do next.
And they don't own anything. Then. You want them to own what they're doing, and when they love what they're doing, they own it, you know? And so that's kind of how we did things at our house. So I love to be able to just encourage moms in that, to just leave that margin in their day.
Well, and so you're doing that, and this is what we want to talk about today. You have a course that you've put together called the Unhurried Homeschooler mentorship course, or mentoring course.
Yes.
It's called. And so you will take a group of moms and you'll basically mentor them. So talk about how the course works. And I know I'm part of the group, and I get to see the responses from these moms, and it's I feel like we're doing an infomercial here. You wouldn't believe what this.
But wait, there's more.
And you only have 2 hours for this amazing deal.
Not really.
No, but I've seen. I've been one of your mentees,
right?
And there have been so many. Hundreds of moms who have read your book, gone through your course, and really been so just freed of this burden that they have of feeling like they're not doing enough. They're not doing it right. Yeah. And I just talked to a mom the other day who we just met. My girls and I were outside playing, and this mom walked by with her little 2-year-old boy, and we had a great conversation and started talking about homeschooling, of course. Because we were out in the middle of the day when my girls should have been in school, and we were just out playing ball. And she said, I've thought about homeschooling and the public school system. She just isn't thrilled about it. And her little one's only 2, and she's got another one on the way. But we got to have this great conversation about homeschooling. She said, I don't know that I could do it. And I was like, oh, trust me, if I can do it, you can do it. And it's not rocket science.
No.
It's really not. If the Lord is calling you to do it, He's going to equip you with everything that you need.
That's right.
To be able to accomplish it. But talk a little bit about your course and what it does and how it's helping people.
Okay. Well, it's 8 workshops, and it's the titles are things like Unhurried Homeschooling, Why We Need to Slow Down, just kind of talking about the background behind that idea and how that worked for our family. I talk about learning to listen to your instincts as a homeschooling mom, and then I go through the different age levels and talk about what unhurried homeschooling looked like because at the different age levels, because it looks different when they're younger than it does when they're older. But there's been an unhurried piece at every phase for our family. And I, looking back now, can see the benefits of that. But I share kind of what that looks like. And then I talk about mom self-care, just making sure we're taking care of ourselves in the different aspects, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And then my husband and I do one together, and that's nurturing your marriage through all the seasons of homeschooling. And that was a fun one I did with him, and it was a hoot. And I just got a message or a post from a mom today who was just like, thank you for doing these. My husband and I are just totally resonating with him. So that was great to hear. But how this works is the workshops are, they're self-paced, so you can watch them whenever you want. You have access to them unlimited amount of time, so you can watch them whenever you want. You also become part of a private Facebook community, and that's where so many of the conversations are happening between the moms. Some of the moms have been through the course, some are still going through it, some are going back and rewatching videos. But they're sharing. We're all sharing what's going on. What is this looking like for our family, and the sharing the concerns and praying for each other, and then the victories. And so it's just been a great place with just a really supportive group of moms who are saying, do what works for your family. And then a lot of moms will ask for suggestions, and these moms have great ideas. I love it because moms are so resourceful. Like, it's not going to look the same for any of us. So one person will ask one question, and you'll get 4 different fantastic suggestions, and one of them will resonate with that mom, and she's like, I can't believe this is great. And she's saying to herself, or to us, now I was feeling this, but I just wasn't sure it was okay, and now I just feel like I can move forward with it. So it's a great community. And then so you've got the workshops, you have the mentoring community. I do live Q&As on the Facebook community page as they're needed, and I'm there a lot. So they tag me in a question, I answer it. So that's where the mentoring piece comes in. I'm mentoring, but also these other moms are mentoring too. So it's kind of a community effort, which is really awesome. I love that. And then the last thing is Monday mornings. I always pray ask for prayer requests on Friday. Monday morning, I pray live 9 a.m. over those prayer requests and over the homeschooling week, because I think it's so important beginning of the week to just refocus and say, why are we doing this? Just remember, where's our focus? Our focus is on God and carrying out His plan for our lives and for our kids' lives.
Yes.
So that's it, and it's $37, and that's it. One-time fee, and you're part of the community forever.
Best $37 you will ever spend.
So we'd love to have you. We've just, like I said, we just have the best group of moms ever.
Yeah,
so.
I love it. I know we have really been excited to promote it. A lot of people want us to promote different things to Schoolhouse Rocked, and we do promote different things, but it has to be something that we believe in, something that we're excited about, and something that we feel like will really help homeschool moms and their families to succeed in homeschooling.
That's right.
And this is definitely one of those things.
Well, I'm glad. And I love doing it.
It's amazing.
I love it because I think that's something that can be missing, a missing piece, not just from the homeschooling community, but from the Christian community, is that Titus 2 type of plan where the older women teach the younger women. I'd rather not think of myself as an older woman, but I'm just having to say it's
everyone
happening.
Is older than something.
Right, that's true.
Old.
Okay, there's
the
old and then there's older. Right. Okay,
so you're just a little bit older than me.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. I feel so much better. See why she's my friend.
I I got your back.
Thank you. So, but I do love that.
Yes.
And and this is a way, the thing I love, I mean, the internet and technology can be a pain. It can be a huge distraction, but it can be a huge blessing. And in this way, it's a huge blessing because moms, it's tough. It's tough to get out and go to a conference or go meet with a specific group or find a group that you resonate with. So if you can get with someone even online like this, we really do. It's amazing how you can build such close relationships in that setting.
Cool. And what's cool is that you're mentoring these moms who are learning, and then they'll go on to mentor other moms.
Exactly.
And
that's how it's supposed to work. God's plan is always the best.
Yes.
And so I think that was his plan.
Yes.
And I love the way these moms come alongside of each other and just love on each other.
Yeah.
And
it's a great community.
No drama.
No
drama.
I mean, there are, a bazillion Facebook homeschool groups. And there are a lot of really good ones, but a lot of there's a lot of drama.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to say drama on all of them, because some of them, moms just cry out. They're just like,
I know, they're hurting.
I can't do this another day. And so this group is one where it's just a bunch of like-minded moms who are there to encourage one another and lift each other up. It's not depressing to go on there.
It's
Some of
not,
the other groups are
but you're
depressing.
free to share your most depressing things.
Right.
If someone's really struggling, we want them to tell us, and we want to pray over them. And then I love, though, that it doesn't stop there.
Yes.
Like, they come back and say, this is what happened, and we saw God work, and we saw his presence, and that's what we want, you know, because really, we can't do this without him. No. That's the bottom line. It's just a bunch of baloney to think that we can do this without him, because we can't, you know. So, but he's so faithful.
He is.
And he takes that little bit we have to offer, and he makes it more than enough, just like the loaves and the fishes. And
that's right.
And it's just, so at the end of the day, I end up saying it was God. And, because all along I remember telling my husband, if these kids turn out okay, it will be by the grace of God.
Yes.
In those moments when you're like, this is not going to work. I just know it. I'm not enough or whatever.
Yes.
And then to watch God fill all these places just with his love and his grace and his mercy, and you're just like, okay, this is just totally God.
Well, and I love that you just said I'm not enough. We've actually been talking about this in our family over the past couple of weeks, in that we're not enough. And some people don't want to hear that.
Right.
A lot of people have a hard time hearing that they're not enough or that they're inadequate. Mm-hmm. But it's a great place to be, because then we get to depend on the Lord to do not to do everything for us. Not that we don't still take action to do what he's called us to do, but it's not all up to us.
That's exactly right.
And that's
exactly
I am so thankful for that.
Yeah.
I am so glad that my kids' education and everything is not up to me.
Not dependent on us.
Where they end up as adults, that's between them and the Lord. Mm-hmm. And all we can do is set the foundation for them, teach them the truth of God's word, and give them the resources that they need to succeed in life. And when I say succeed, I don't mean succeed and go out and make $1 million.
Right. You're redefining success here.
Right. I mean, success is doing what God has created you to do.
That's right.
Whatever that is. If it's changing diapers, or if it is being a missionary, which is a very important job, or if it's, being a missionary, here in America or overseas or somewhere, or if it's, being in the courtroom as a judge. It doesn't matter. God has gifted us each in an individual way. And so
it's so important that our kids learn to hear from the Lord for themselves.
Yes.
And so as we're walking out this homeschooling journey, and we're asking God for wisdom, and we're learning to hear from him, we are modeling that for them. And so they are seeing this day in and day out. Yeah. And how they say more is caught than taught.
Yes.
That is so true. The lip service doesn't do anything for them. Yep. I always say kids can sniff out hypocrisy a mile away.
Yeah.
And so that is one of the good and hard parts of homeschooling, is our kids will see us in the good and the bad.
Yeah.
But the important thing is that we're constantly going back to the cross and understanding that we need him, because he didn't create us to be self-sufficient, independent. He created us to be dependent on him.
Right.
And we have the privilege to do that even more so in homeschooling.
And he wants us to be.
That's right.
So.
And he loves to show himself mighty to us and loving, and he just loves to reveal himself to us. And so we've got this great opportunity to do that when we're homeschooling.
I agree. Well, we'll put the link in the notes, but for people who are just watching and don't want to maybe look for the link, where can they find out more about the mentoring course?
Okay, it is theunhurriedhomeschooler.thinkific.com. So if you just go to that, it should take you right to the
Thinkific.
Thinkific.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we'll put those. We'll put that link in the comments on this video, and yeah, check it out. So you have open enrollment right now. When does the
enrollment is open?
It's just all the
I
time.
don't have a date to close it at this point, so
Okay.
just leaving it open.
So
for
it
now
doesn't start now at a specific time,
because
it's
they're
just
self-paced.
once you enroll. Okay.
Once you
All right.
enroll, all the videos are accessible to you.
Okay.
You watch them at your own pace whenever you want.
Okay, because
So-
when you
and
first
there's no
did
homework.
it, there's no homework.
Well, the first group that went through, I was still creating the videos.
Okay.
So I
Yes.
had to write the workshops,
Right.
record the workshops, and get them in at
Okay.
certain dates, and so they weren't available
Gotcha.
until certain dates. So now they're all in there
Okay.
and ready to go.
So now it's just at your own pace.
just at your own
I
pace.
love it. So cool. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening and watching, and have a great rest of your week.
Thanks for joining us.
All right. Bye. Dorinda's going to go turn off the video now.